So thank you very much for joining us. We're having another panel. This panel is going to have a look at AI, cybersecurity, but also cybersecurity in a broader way. We have here some colleagues and representatives from different parts of the country, because I think there might be opportunities for synergies, but there are also maybe joint projects. So I would like to let the gentlemen present themselves. Jeremy is from Cyberwall, and Gregory is for Safe Brussels, and Kurt is here from HOWEST. So please, Jeremy.
So nice to meet you all. So Jeremy Oncledon, I'm working for Agence du Numérique for the program Cyberwall by Digital Wallonia. That's the cybersecurity program for the Walloon region.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Gregory Hermans. I'm cybersecurity manager for Safe Brussels, where I am working on the different cybersecurity projects for the Brussels region.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kurt Kallewart. I'm a valorization manager, digital transformation at West University of Applied Science. But before I was already for 12 years working only on cybersecurity and certainly on the famous cybersecurity professional education study program at West University.
Thank you. Well, welcome. So we're going to have a look more at the AI factors, and I know that Kurt and HOWEST are quite implicated in AI programs. Would be interesting to know what you're doing and how it relates to security, also what your concerns are, and we'll talk about needs maybe afterwards on that.
Thank you. Well, first of all, they made me, why they made me valorization manager digital transformation. At a university, you have different study programs. For example, I will make it easy. We have a study program game technology. We have a study program AI. We have a study program cybersecurity. We have a study program XR, AR, VR. So, okay. And what's happening? All those people, lecturers and also researchers, they did a nice job doing research on their topic, their technology. Now, and I was one of them because I worked on blockchain technology, but also on cybersecurity. Well, now I have a new role in the organization, and now I try to combine what it didn't happen before. So I try to combine here the topic AI and cybersecurity. And then you need to put two different people together to work on a project or to organize a course and so on. So that's my new role. And eventually, and Eric mentioned already, you have also to combine game technology and cybersecurity. So I try to combine. And if you say, do you have already a solution to combining all those technologies you have at West University? Yes, because for me, all those technologies, there's one convergence, and that's the metaverse, or new, in the future, the virtual world. Well, we need all those kind of, we need Web3, blockchain, XR, AI, we need game technology, so, and we need cybersecurity. So all those things, all these technologies and knowledge, we have it at our university, and now I put them all together to develop new study programs, combining those technologies, and also, for example, to do research on AI and cybersecurity. How can AI help us to raise the maturity of cybersecurity in a company? But I will explain our research projects a little bit later, and I will give also the opportunity to the other people to talk about that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because often when you think in nowadays in cybersecurity, AI has more of it's like a defensive black box. A lot of XDR programs, so cross detect and respond, sell themselves by calling themselves AI. Uh, I think looking at the way you look, we all agree on it's not always the same sales level of maturity. But AI is the future in the security because we get automated attacks. We know Ho West is quite far on AI. I think in the Brussels region, it's more really setting up the cybersecurity at the regional level.
Yeah, so we are not really doing anything specific with AI. Well, obviously we are doing technology watch, but we're really at the beginning. The most success we've had so far in Brussels is on digital forensics project in collaboration with the police. And I can't say that there is a lot of AI, or maybe when we do some open source intelligence where we watch a lot of information on public information to detect some kind of criminal activity. But apart from that, now we are moving more into cybersecurity as the protection of IT systems. So no more investigation in the cyberspace, but more really taking care of the security of the public administrations. And so in partnership with Paradigm, who's the IT partner of the Brussels public region. And so we are talking about these kinds of products like XDR. So we are evaluating products and we are seeing what's the best solution.
And just to jump back to the world of Kurt, it was just one question towards you. Do you have partnerships with, for example, universities or research centers? Because, well, in Brussels we have ULB, we have UCL. There are different instances around Brussels. Do you have cooperation? When I listen to what Ho West is doing,
well, we are at the beginning of our cyber security implementation, so we really plan to. That's
okay.
Really.
So it's on the roadmap.
Yeah. That's exactly. So, but we have nothing concrete to share.
No, okay. But, we'll see each other next year, and then you'll have something. Jeremy, how is it evolving in your part of the country? The Cyberwall project, the cooperation with university entities, or where are you in the on the roadmap to AI?
Yeah. So for the AI part, I'm exactly the right person. This is Anthony Blair from Dewey for AI with Trail and all the projects related to AI. We're already something already dedicated for that for Agence Numérique and for Wallonia. But for Cyberwall by Dewey, so the cyber security part, we are really working with a lot of partners, security companies, research center, university, and public partner and federal partners also. So we're working on 4 pillars. Will be sensibilization, formation, research and innovation. That's cyber excellence with Axel Leguet and all the university and research center, and international relations. So right now that's really the 4 pillars we're focusing on, and the first one will be the sensibilization, closely followed by formation. The part for the research is already ongoing for more than a year and it's going quite well, I think. We remember at Redu, Galaxia. Yeah, that was already a big success.
Okay, so I don't need to make a link between North and South. I'm a little late on the project.
No, don't worry.
Okay, thank you. When you look at and as you mentioned, you're not the AI guy, but I know that you're the cyber guy. So how would you see, or do you see AI evolve or enter more and more into your wonderful world of magic?
Yeah, that's always the good question. Is it AI for cyber or cyber for AI? That's for me an unknown question. That will be a complete relationship, a symbiosis, because you can spare a lot of time for people working, for example, in security operations center on doing the true log or repetitive task. And you have a very small guy that have to do that kind of slog every day. That's just soul crushing at the end. You do that during even the weekend for an alert, you check, it's again nothing. And we are a good filter, a small part of AI can really improve the workflow. That's for me one of the big examples. Make the people do what they like and avoid the repetitive task. That's for me one big stuff. So yeah, we're working closely with them. I have the chance to discuss a lot with Antoine from Dewey4AI and Portrait also, and we're really trying to find some project we can already build on. To say, okay, that's good to talk about it. Now we have to show it to the people. Look, it's not that complicated. It's not a complete black box. You have to have a kind of mastery of it, be aware of bias, and check the sources, and then yeah, almost good to go.
Okay, but the need is identified.
Clearly.
Yeah, okay. If I may ask you, if of course you were pretty explicit during the beginning of the journey.
Yeah.
How would you see the evolution on AI?
Well, I agree with my colleague. Basically, the need is the same. So, in cybersecurity, we are really interested into what's called the IOCs, the indicator of compromise. And so, some IOCs are very basic. It's just IP addresses, domain names, file names. That's easy. But if you want to really go into advanced detection, you have to look for more like patterns. And that's where I think that AI can bring something really interesting. Now, the problem I see with AI, and something I would have to be careful with, is the bias problem. So, because I mean, to have a stable model, you have to have stable data. And since the IOCs, they change every day, I don't know. I would like to have the opinion of an expert. How do you have a model that's kind of evolving with new IOCs? That would be interesting. But basically, detection of complex compromission patterns is one of the where I see the value of AI. And then, of course, automation also. But I mean, I think automation is still something that a human can do. I mean, automatically blocking some ports or blocking some domain, whatever. But really detecting, that's the hard part, and to avoid false positives.
Yes. Okay, very interesting. Kurt?
May I mention some other research projects?
Of course,
okay.
Of course.
Maybe it will make it more clear. First, phishing mails. You can use AI to recognize the phishing mails, also to make phishing mails for awareness campaigns, but also detecting them. DNS security. You have much false positives, false negatives. So AI can solve this. So we are busy with this. Threat modeling. An enterprise architect who wants to do also some risk analysis. He is not an expert in cyber, but if he makes his data flow diagrams, he needs help. Well, NLP AI can help him with the CVA database and detect maybe some problems already. And then our big problem we tackle is the OT ICS security, because OT ICS networks, you need to protect them in another way than the IT networks. And there, and in fact, you are right, we need data. And it was for us also difficult to have data from companies, because companies said, no, our production sites, you cannot enter them and we will not give you data. But our researchers, or AI researchers, I brought them back together with the cybersecurity researchers. We say, we need data. Where is the data? Well, we solved it. We made our own factory, our demonstrator, and many people have already seen our demonstrator. So our demonstrator is our own factory. We create our own data, and we are doing simulations, cyber attack simulations. So we have data on the different protocols and all the types of devices in the OT ICS environment. But and the next one, a nice one, is everybody is talking about the zero trust architecture. So we are doing research on, maybe I may not say it here in public, but Okay. On intelligent zero trust architecture for 5G, 6G, and we will do it on a case of drones because we have a lot of experience also in West Flanders and on drones. But we will take care of this, this architecture, because if you have a swarm of drones who are doing communication with satellites and under each other, so this may be a problem. And we have nice projects with the 5G FOD call. Dus we have together with Orange and together with other partners, CFAR and so on, we have they will build a 5G installation in Flanders Fields, a region in West Flanders, so and well known by the the cycling race. So we will have the opportunity to do simulations, attack simulations on drones who are bringing, for example, blood samples from one hospital to another hospital in Flanders Fields. So we have a lot of nice things, but sometimes I'm tired to be here on this earth, and then I go to my virtual world, the metaverse. But then my avatar, he has the same problems. He has also problem with privacy, security. So I think we will have, we still have a lot of research projects to do, to define, but surely work together with the other regions also. We are doing already with you and the Winterschool. That was the first time with our OT ICS environment or factory. We moved it to the province of Luxembourg, and then we had 80 PhD students following our courses, and so it was very nice to work together. And I think that's the way to go, work together in Belgium, work together also in Europe.
Absolutely. Well, it's impressive when I look at the different subjects, the drone swarms. So then you're not even in cyber defense, but also in military defense. Swarm drones are considered one of the big risks for airports, for example. But that's more a question, maybe not the one I wrote down. How many people have you been do you have working on those different projects? Because when I look at the scope of the project and the diversity, well, it all tends in one way, security, but it's quite large.
Okay. Yes. Now we have in fact working on all these projects 20 people, but last week we hired 6 new people. So we are growing. But we will not do only these research projects. The results must go to the study programs.
Yeah.
And there I have some news for you. Okay. Because the study program for the moment, or cybersecurity professional track is in the applied computer science study program. It's a track of 60 credits, and for a bachelor you have 180 credits. So we have now, for the moment, last 12 years, 60 credits to use only for cybersecurity, full cybersecurity. But that's not enough. If you want to talk about OT security, if you want to talk about AI in cybersecurity, we have so much more things already ready on the planks, and we want to move it to so we asked the Minister of Education in Flanders to have a full bachelor cybersecurity, not applied computer science with a track cybersecurity, with a full 180 credits. So we took a white paper and we rethought what the content of those 180 study points. And what's also very important, that is that every lecturer who will give courses in this bachelor study program must be 100% convinced of cybersecurity. He must have the right mindset. And that's also important, because I'm already for more than 8 years fighting against some colleagues who are giving software development courses, and they say, oh, security by design, do a pen test after we developed our solution. And I'm fighting already for more than 8 years against this mentality. So if I was minister, and if I had many money. So I think we need to convince, not to make a law to do this, but to convince all IT experts working in software development and IoT development and all this kind, and to follow courses. And they all need a certification. Because now we are discussing with small and medium enterprises. What does a small and medium enterprise do? The boss, he listens to me and he said, okay, good. I will call my IT expert who is doing all the work, and he is doing it everything, very fine, and we are really it's very glad with his work done. He calls him, and this guy said, but you don't listen to Kurt. Everything is secure with you. I do it. No, we have to convince everybody, and if you then do the test, after 45 minutes, the whole network is down. So we need change the mentality, also not only from the C-level and all the other things the panel said, but also our IT experts. Some IT experts are not convinced yet, or don't have the knowledge about cybersecurity. But therefore, West has also a solution, but okay.
Okay, excellent. The points that you made are so relevant, and it would be interesting to see if you look also, for example, doctors, they need to have credits every year to be retrained. And that would be one of the ways of looking at, for example, for your IT certifications, that it would be part of it. But congratulations with the new program. With your convincing skills. So if you look, just going to that point, and I go a little away from AI, but I think the point is well made. If you look at the future, not only of AI, but cybersecurity, when you look at education, but you look also at the projects, at the roadmaps that you're creating, what are your main concerns?
Well, what my colleague mentioned was really the fact that it's, how can I say, not popular topics. I mean, surprisingly, I personally think it's like being a spy. It's romance, it's adventure, it's Russian hackers. I mean, how can that not be really interesting for young people? So we have to work on that. So a part of the Brussels cybersecurity plan will be really to work on the cybersecurity culture, where we really want this to be a common topic, really to be the concern of everybody, not just the IT people, but really a very common topics, just like traffic security or fire prevention, or that kind of things, where everybody knows that you need the little fire detectors. There's no question asked. It's ingrained in every. You move into a new place. You know that you have to check for the fire detector. So I want cybersecurity to enter society and be as common, because we really need that to face the challenges. So that's one of the important aspects that we have to find. And even now, if we go more into IT skills, really there are so few cybersecurity IT skills. So there is the war of talents raging on, and that's a problem. It's a big problem. So yeah, we need to train people. So training, I think that was the previous topics.
Yeah, and also there are training institutes that focus more and more.
I mean, these are for us the really important points.
And the city of Brussels has also these education programs on cyber. Do you know, or?
Well, at different levels, there are different institutions. Now, of course, I work for the region, and so in Belgian style, we do not take care of education. Okay. We have so that's a commune. I don't know if you said English.
Communal level.
Communal level.
Yeah, town level. Yeah. Okay.
So I can't really talk about big plans in education, but for the public personnel, the public administration personnel, we have solutions. There is Digital City in Brussels that has a very good part of its course that addresses cybersecurity. We also have Safe Brussels has founded a school for it's called BruSafe. That's school for civil security jobs.
Okay.
So that's one of the rare regional schools, and thus it's a bilingual school, which is very rare in Belgium. And so they train policemen, firefighters, paramedics, and that kind of things. And they also give cybersecurity courses, for example, to the policemen, and also to the public administration personnel. We have 2 trainings, one for the technical guy and one for the more CXOs or decided people who decision makers.
Yeah. Okay, so it's part of the curriculum of first responders, basically, also.
Yeah, no, not first responders. Really, they are really low tech guy. I mean,
okay.
But for policemen, yes, certainly.
No, but I'm sorry. The first responders, what we know traditionally is police and fire. That they have.
Yeah, some of them, of course, they have policemen. They have more and more part of the activities in the cyber world.
Yeah.
There is cyber violence. That's really a thing in Brussels, and so we have special measures to fight that. And that part of it is training policemen to handle correctly cyber hate or cyber harassment complaints. Because if the policeman doesn't understand what it is and how it works, he will not give good advice to the victim to collect the proofs, the evidence correctly.
The forensics.
Yeah, that's it. So we really have to train the policemen to fight cybercrime correctly.
Yeah, excellent.
And that's part of our prerogatives.
And that goes back to the world of the metaverse Kurt was talking about. A lot goes to that world, and where is the line? So and I think it is very
more and more
wide.
The line is blurry, and that's something that happened in Brussels. There was a cyber incident in the Saint-Pierre Hospital.
Yes,
St. Peter
2 weeks
Hospital,
ago.
and it opened eyes of some people, because the cyber incident made the hospital move patients to another hospital, and so the cyber incident has a really measurable impact into the real world.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that my project is suddenly accelerated because it's coming out of the virtual world into the real world, and some people still do not have a good perception of the virtual world and what's happening there. So it was sad, still useful.
Yeah, never waste a good incident, as they say.
It's a little bit cynic, but.
Yeah, no, but it takes, unfortunately, it takes those kind of incidents to go to investments and realization and awareness of it. Jeremy, how do you? What threats do you see? I understand in the Brussels region, it's more it's part of the education, the future, and widening the knowledge with the whole population. Mm-hmm. How do you see that? Through the cyber war?
I see 2 things. First one, it's again talents. When I designed the second pillar for formation, I was discussing with formation center, university, and college, and they say that's really nice. We really like it. We have just one issue. There's absolutely not enough trainer just to make the first steps. So you can just stop already. You can start everything you want. You will send the student, get the money. Nobody to do it. So go back to the ring table, redo it, and then we have now a spot designated for train the trainer. So try to identify the people who can be quickly reskilled. So they're already, by example, teaching sysadmin, Linux, network administration, and they're already interested in cybersecurity. It's not that easy for them to shift. So that's something we're really trying to try to provide them. So to activate a large part of the training population to say, okay, you can do it. It's not that difficult. Go for it. There is a lot of demands. And sometimes they're really funny because they said, are you sure there's a job in cybersecurity for me after that? I said, just open LinkedIn and type the words. That's for me one of the big one. And the second one is sensibilization. So to convince people they need it. So right now we're retrying with SMEs to explain to them it's a business risk. That's not something foreign or it will happen, whatever they do. No, they can provide a lot of this incident, almost 80-85% of them with simple basic measure. And even that, they are struggling to see why. And they say we have no money. There is two crises already, maybe a third one looming. I have no time for that. That for me really the challenge to go through that resistance and deliver the message. That's for me the challenge for this year.
Well, as far as I understood from Gregory, just wait for a good crisis.
I tried not to, but
but I understand you've seen each other in other forums. How do you see the cooperation going within Belgium between the regions?
And for me, it's mandatory because cybersecurity has no language, no law, no frontier designed by man, so they just don't care. We're just lucky because there's 3 languages, so sometimes it's more difficult for pirates to attack with phishing, but that's it. Well, if they find that we're attractive enough, it's over. So far we're quite lucky, in fact.
Well, in Belgium, seen from the outside, me coming from Holland, it's just one country, and sorry, and it has some small organizations like EU, NATO, and so.
The small one.
And you have REA also present in Wallonia. So I think, yeah, I share the concern. When you look at the cooperation, where would you see more the opportunities to work together with the regions?
The first one was research. That's for me the easiest one because it's really easy to discuss and to work on a specific topic. It's not threatening for anyone. It's easy. You can begin to build the bridges. That's really important, the first steps. After that, will be for me education. So we continue. And after that, between sharing of information. If something is impacting London or Brussels, it will be in Wallonia in 10 seconds, more or less. Yeah. So it's really important for us. IOC can be a beginning, but to design something, you can take the federal level, another channel, whatever you want, but yeah, begin to build that bridges and those dialogues.
Okay, excellent. Same question. Where do you see opportunities in working together with the regions?
Well, I would actually trust into the CCB to be really a central point to coordinate. I really like the working group they created, where we participate. NCCB, the National Cybersecurity
Crisis Center. Yeah.
No. We're there too. But so it's the idea is to share all the projects that happen everywhere, and obviously when we talk about cybersecurity, the threats part, so the adversary part, it's absolutely not local or regional. It's even slightly national, but it's actually it's European at minimum. So on the other side, the victims. So the following of the victims, that can be regionalized. But the threat, understanding the threats, so and sharing information about the threats, the IOC and all that should be at minimum national and not regional. Now, taking into account the threats and using the information to implement plans, that of course is closer to the victims and the specific risk analysis of each victims. And there, of course, we each understands our domains, and I think we're the best to really give advice. But really, we have to share information about threats and then use it each at our level to help our constituents, I would say. So I think that would be the best model. And so to organize that sharing of information, I think that the CCB has a very important role to play.
Yeah, so technically larger and then more culturally aware on the personal follow-up on victims.
Also because they have incredible skilled people.
Yeah.
I'm very envious. So we will never have, it would be extremely difficult to have the teams of the same quality, especially in CITRIS, the Cyber Threat Intelligence Department. So let's not bother. Let's not try it. Let's use
the existing.
Yeah, at the federal level, they should be the one that really understand the threats and share information between everyone.
Okay, Kurt.
Well, I see it on 3 levels. First of all, I'm very happy what's happening in Flanders. I'm very happy also with Flyo because they have nice funding programs, cybersecurity, also AI and other things. So we need them to have funding to do all this research. But secondly, on Belgian level, for more than I think 8 years, Cathy, we are working together with the Cybersecurity Coalition, and for me it was a very good platform to see people, to talk with people about cybersecurity, all problems during all this 8 years, and it's a very nice platform. And I make also marketing for your platform because in Flanders, to convince also companies to be member, to have a membership of those coalition. Also for my young colleagues, I will do another effort to send them to the focus groups. Okay, maybe you will see me a little bit, but the young people need such kind of platform to build up their network. It's very important. And then third one is Europe. Europe, and so I called also Axel and also a series from Wallonia to help me in an Interreg France Wallonia Flanders project. So I want to be the one who will call everybody around the table and we have here a nice project. Do you join us? Okay. And so what will happen now? West Flanders will work together also with the province of Luxembourg. So you see, everything is possible. Why? We are 250 kilometers from each other. That's not a big deal. So working on those international European programs. And for example, we are also a member of the EDI, the European Digital Innovation Hub, Digitalis. There are 3 EDIs in Flanders, one in Brussels and one in Wallonia. So the EDIs, they need also to work together. So we will, you will see me again in the EDI because I'm also responsible for the, from the west side and in the consortium, the EDI Digitalis. So you see, and what the last thing I want to say is that we are very happy with the funding, the last funding of Flyo, namely after 3 years and a half, yeah, okay, the Living Lab stopped, but we got refunded for our Living Lab, innovative cybersecurity in industry and logistics 4.0. Logistics is the next things, and so we have time and a platform to share our solutions and also the solutions of the cybersecurity industry, because the Living Lab must not always be research and deliverables of research, and maybe also working concrete solutions. Well, via that Living Lab, we can organize now events together or not with the coalition or with other people, and organizing events, sharing all this information, sharing nice tools, nice solutions for the industrial and logistics world. So I'm very happy, but I'm always tired because I work too much, and I'm happy to be here, so I can relax a little bit.
That's what we all do here. Thank you very much, because I think it's an insight, and also referring to the Cybersecurity Coalition. As you say, it's a platform where we work together in several focus groups, and I think for people starting in the business, also the students, but also the people who are further down their career path, huh? like the ones attending the Cyber Wayfinder. We had the presentation before. Working on a network is essential. One of the courses I try to integrate in some courses I give is also the part about open source intelligence, and part of your open source intelligence is your network. So thank you for the insights. So I think the question in the previous group was very nice. If you had unlimited funds and power, where would you start and where would you want to go? Jeremy, I start with you.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Huh? That's
it's a beautiful one.
Yeah, indeed. I think for me it will be really for education that we go really for that full steam, really to try to make sensibilization, gamification, like Eric said. That was for me a good idea, a very good track that should be working for the younger generation and older people also. Yeah, sensibilization, education, a lot of it. Open source also, a lot of open source activities for some basic tool you need in cybersecurity existing. So just make them more popular and really go for it. That should be really important, because sometimes you see really the right tool, it's behind a lot of license, people don't understand why they need it, why they have to pay for it. And again, education. It always come back to that. If they don't understand why they need it, you can do whatever you want with the money you want. It will never work. They will spend more time trying to go around it than they use it.
And in that, how do you see the role of AI supporting you in that, or do you see it more in a human level, human to human?
For me, I like the new product from Microsoft, Copilot. For me, AI is like that. It makes your life easier. It automatizes some tasks. It can help you be more creative, more productive. It alleviates the works. That's for me the way I see it. Really, something you can trust, you can really use on the daily task to make it easier. That's for me kind of dreams. So okay, I can give it all the stuff and concentrate on really the big things.
So an even easier life.
Indeed.
Thank you. Gregory? No funds, all the power.
Well, I would kind of selfishly finance the project I'm starting.
Okay, yeah.
Which is the creation of a threat center in Brussels. And which is like, I'd like to present this project as, because before I came to work for the region, Brussels region, I was working in the in an external service for prevention and protection at work. And so there are a lot of interesting analogies to make between the work prevention and cybersecurity. And what I see in work prevention is that we have a superb model, I think, in Belgium, and I suppose in other countries in Europe it's the same, but it's the idea that every single enterprise should do work prevention, fire prevention, and all that. So, but it's very difficult to be an expert in every kind of risk, in chemical risk and occupational diseases and all that. So what we did, we created specialized services that give advice in support to the enterprise. So the Threat Center in Brussels is going to play this role for the public administrations, for all the local powers, the municipalities and the police departments and all that. So I would make it actually, of course, the idea is that it's very difficult to find these talents, and so we cannot expect, it's overkill and it's too expensive to have all these cybersecurity experts in all the institutions and public administration. So if you can centralize, you create a core group that has these skills, and that I can work for all its constituents. That's what I would create and what we are trying to do. So if I had a lot of money, of course, it would speed up things, because I could easily hire a huge team. I would start with the private sector, of course, because that's where the skills are. But I will try, counting on the excellent development of trainings and new diplomas to really re-internalize these skills, because I think that the public administrations, they kind of need a part of these skills internally. They can't completely rely on just consultants. You have to develop your own, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to have a critical regard on what the consultants are doing. So
yeah, it's part of the risk profile if you don't control some parts of, especially something so sensitive.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kurt, all the money in the world and all the power.
Okay, nice. Well, I think we need this, because if we compare the funding of Flemish government and Belgian government and also European governments to us, it's okay for me, but if we compare this with what China is doing to fund their companies and their research teams, that's that I'm afraid of, because the difference is too big. So we need still more funding to organize other research projects with, for example, business people, together with AI people, with cybersecurity people, with IT people, with other maybe psychology people with them, and we need more money to fund this kind of new research projects on a European level, on a Belgian level, or I don't care, but we need this. And then if we have much more knowledge, we can use this to make more secure tools and solutions and networks and whatever. So the world will already be more secure, and we will be stronger than the other side who is attacking us. So in a war, you need to be strong, you need to be more intelligent than the other side, and then you can stop them. So that I would be, but you're right about education and I think but I don't want to talk here because it's not always, it's difficult to talk about this because we need to rethink the education system. But I will not start this discussion
but it's a
here.
nice theme for the next
For the
next session. Yeah.
I can do it within 1 hour. I can explain something, but I will not do it public because I have ideas about this, but we need to rethink. But change management is a big problem in an education and in study programs and people who are giving courses and so. Because I will give you one example. They asked me, can you help in the study program of business management? We want to introduce data and AI. Okay, privacy, data, AI. Well, from the 180 credits, we needed 24 credits to implement those data, AI, new courses. But if you take away, if you implement 24 new credits, then you have to stop 24 credits. And then you go to your team and say, who wants to stop with your course? And that's a big problem. And then everything is starting. And that's a big change management. It's also very difficult with us and our education system to discuss this and make it possible to rewrite, to take a white paper and rethink and redesign the system. And that's change management. We need it very badly.
I recognize what you say. I think if you look at both cybersecurity as AI, you have to be able to think out of boxes. We were mentioning before cooperation. We were mentioning before also in other panels, for example, programs like the Women for Cyber program. Think out of the box, not only students that we integrate, people who have got more knowledge and have been retrained. So thank you for your insights. Seen the time, if there are any questions for the panel. I realize it's more about cybersecurity and information security in a broader sense, touching quite a lot of topics also that have been discussed before. Any questions to the panel? No? Well, then I will give you another 7 minutes to go for coffee before the next session. And thank you very much for attending.